My next game, I have the Carolina Panthers taking on the Detroit Lions. The Panthers last week, man, they just can't buy a victory, just like the Bears. And with all that being in mind, you're going to Detroit this week. I don't think this is going to be a close game. Sure, you may have your quarterback in Bryce Young, and sure, you might have your quarterback in Bryce Young, and sure, you might have a few weapons, but you're going against a Detroit defense that last week they were able to just completely obliterate the Green Bay Packers by a score of by a score of 24 to 10 or something. No, it was 27-17. And with all that being in mind, with the Lions coming off with all that momentum last week, I think the Lions will be able to go ahead and run the football down their throats. I think the defense will be able to do its job in stopping Bryce Young. So with all that being said, give me the Lions this week, also because they're at home as well. My next game, we got the Houston Texans taking on the Atlanta Falcons. The Texans last week, like I said before, they're coming off of a dominant showing against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And they're going up against a team that lost on Disney Plus in the Atlanta Falcons. And with all this in mind, this is also going to be another snoozer fest game. I got the Houston Texans winning this one in Atlanta. I think it's going to be a little bit closer than what anybody expects, but I don't see the Falcons winning this one against Houston. Houston got some momentum right now because they defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers, of course. My next game, we have the New York Giants taking on the Miami Dolphins. And good God, the Giants last week, their offensive line is bad. I thought the Bears' offensive line was bad. No, the Giants' offensive line is super bad. They gave up 11 sacks to the Seattle Seahawks. And with all that being in mind, Daniel Jones is garbage. Let's just get that out the way. Daniel Jones is a bad quarterback who I don't think can read a defense. Someone who I thought was utilized well last year because of his athletic ability. But Brian Daboll, their head coach, it's like the team is taking a regression this year, which I thought was expected. Everyone was just like putrid. They were just very bad. So with all that being said, I got the oh my God, yeah, and they're going to Miami this week. I got the Dolphins winning this one. Now, sure, like I said, the Dolphins, they got blown out last week by the Bills, but this is going to be a bounce-back game. If you're a Dolphins fan, you can pretty much treat this as a bye week because the Giants last week, they did not play play any inspiring football last week. And plus, you're in Miami, so you have no excuse to lose this game. Give me the Dolphins in this one. My next game, we got the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals last week, they're coming off of an expected 21-point loss to, 19-point loss to the San Francisco 49ers. This is a team that, like I said, that's clearly rebuilding. I think they're trying to tank for the number one seed, the number one draft pick. But spoiler alert, it's the Bears who's got the number one and number two draft pick. But if you were to ask me who's going to win this game, I got the Bengals winning this game because they're the better football team. And I know they're struggling and everything, but I expect a hard-fought game between two sucky teams. I don't think Joe Burrow wants to lose this game this week, considering the Bengals are 1-3. But then also not to mention, with all that being said, with the Bengals having are coming off of a pretty bad loss last week, I expect them to play a little bit more motivated. I expect them to play a little bit more aware and and play with a little bit more poise. So I got the Bengals winning this one this week. My next game, we got another good game, I would like to say. You got the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Rams. The Eagles last week, like I said, are coming off of a hard-fought overtime victory against the Commanders. And meanwhile, the Rams, they are coming off of another hard-fought overtime victory against the Colts. These are two teams that are coming off overtime victories. But if you have to ask me who's winning this game, I'm gonna go ahead and say give me the Eagles in this one. I think because they have the better defense, I think they'll be able to go ahead and slow down Matthew Stafford. I'm not a big believer in Matthew Stafford, but if you were to ask me who would I rather have at quarterback between Jalen Hurts and Matthew Stafford, it's Jalen Hurts. With all that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and pick the Philadelphia Eagles winning by 3 points this week in LA against the Rams. Next week, the next game, we got another stinker. We got another stinker of the bunch right here. We got the New York Jets taking on the Denver Broncos. The Jets last week, the Jets last week, they played a very good game last week against the Kansas City Chiefs. Zach Wilson actually looked like a competent NFL quarterback out there. But the problem was down the stretch, him turning the ball over. That's what made the Chiefs win last week. And you can't turn the ball over against the Kansas City Chiefs. But meanwhile, the Broncos, they gave up 28 points last week to the Bears. This is a team that gave up 70 points 2 weeks ago against the Miami Dolphins. So with all that being said, you got a terrible defense and I guess a resurgical offense under Russell Wilson this year, going up against a stingy defense and a team that likes to run the football. I got the Jets winning this one in Denver simply because I think they're the better football team. And I think if Aaron Rodgers was to come back and if they play smartly, I got the Jets winning this one. My next game, this is going to be a massacre. You got the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Minnesota Vikings. The Chiefs last week, they're coming off, like I said, they barely survived against New York last week. But then you're also going up against Minnesota, who barely survived against the Panthers last week. And they gave up a pick six, to be fair. This team is the Chiefs are 3-1, while the Vikings are 1-3. I got the Chiefs winning this one simply because they are, I think, the better football team, but also I think they have a better defense than the Vikings. Let's just keep it real. The Vikings don't know how to stop anybody, and if you can get to, like I said, if you can score points against the Vikings, more than likely you're going to win. And then also, not to mention, if you can get to Kirk Cousins, then more than likely you're going to win as well. So I got the Chiefs winning this one against Minnesota. I think it can be a high-scoring shootout, but I got the Chiefs lasting longer and scoring more points than Minnesota. This is going to be a good game on Sunday Night Football. We got the Dallas Cowboys taking on the San Francisco 49ers. The Cowboys last week, they are coming off of a dominant showing against the New England Patriots, who I don't think is even a real football team at this point. But nonetheless, they got 2 defensive touchdowns. Dak looked pretty good. He didn't have to be a true quarterback out there. They ran the ball very well. But here's the thing. You're going against the 49ers, the team that beat you in the playoffs last year. The 49ers last week, the 49ers, they're coming off of a win against the Cardinals, who everyone expected that to happen. So with all that being said, I think the 49ers are going to go ahead and give the Cowboys a slice of humble pie. I think it could be I say the 49ers are going to win by 14 points. I think their offense is more than equipped, equipped than enough to go up against this stingy Dallas Cowboys defense. So with all that being said, I got 49ers winning by 14 at home against the Dallas Cowboys. And plus, I don't believe in Dak Prescott. Let's just get it real. And then our last game on Monday Night Football, you got the Green Bay Packers taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. The Packers last week are coming off of a game where they lost 34-20. And with all that in mind, they couldn't stop the run last week. David Montgomery ran all over their throats. Jordan Love turned the football over. He just didn't look competent out there. He didn't look too good out there. And with all that in mind, with all that in mind, when they got to Jordan Love last week, he threw an interception on his own side of the field. They were getting to Jordan Love last week as far as going after the quarterback. And then also their run production last week was just putrid. Aaron Jones only had 14 yards and A.J. Dillon only had 7 yards. So if I'm the Packers this week, you're going up against a Raiders defense who, like I said, I know they have a lot to be desired for, but if I'm Green Bay, in order to take pressure off Jordan Love, run the goddamn football. That's all I got to say. Just run the football. If you run the football in Green Bay, more than likely or not, you're going to win. I'm a Bears fan, so I know how that feels. So with all that being said, if Green Bay wants to win this game this week, they're going to have to emphasize on running the football. They're going to have to emphasize on stopping the run defensively. And they're going to also have to emphasize on not making mistakes against the Raiders this week. If you were to ask me who's going to win that game because they're in Green Bay, I'm going to go ahead and give this game to the Packers simply because they're in Green Bay at home, and I think they're a better football team than the Raiders right now. I know that they got Devontae Adams. I know the Raiders got Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs and all those other guys, but the problem is they don't know how to win. And with them not knowing how to win, I can't trust them. So with all that being said, I got the Packers winning this one at home against the Vegas Raiders. So with all that being said, if you like this video, I'd like for you guys to go ahead and leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And I will see you guys later.